Hi guys, and welcome back to this journey towards excellent exam results. In these shorter revision videos, we are going to be breaking down different concepts within the GCSE geography specification. The aim of this is to help us understand the concepts better and to give us the information and confidence we need to answer exam questions. In today's video, we are going to be discussing how biomes are a life support system. Okay, let's get started. So how are biomes a life support system? So biomes are not only important for providing goods and services to humans, but they also regulate other physical systems and keep the planet healthy. Now there are four services that the biomes offer. And the first one here is provisioning of goods and services. Now those goods and services that are provided by the biomes are both for the indigenous tribes that live within those forest biomes and also for people all over the world. Now, in terms of the indigenous tribes, they get their food from the forests. So they get fish, they get bushmeat, wild yams, nuts, berries, wild honey, and so on for their food. And then they also get wood and leaves for building houses and for firewood. So we know that a lot of these indigenous tribes live in very remote places or areas, and therefore they do not have electricity and they have to rely on the firewood from those forests for cooking and for their heating as well. Then what about people all over the world then? They are relying on these biomes here for timber, and that timber is being used for construction. There's also the aloe vera plant, which is used for cosmetics that are used across the world. We have periwinkle that is used for leukemia, which is a form of cancer. And then we have biofuels, we have wood for paper, and also poppies to make morphine. Okay, so that's how the biomes act as a life support system in providing goods and services for people all over the world. Okay, then secondly, we have supporting services, and the first one here is photosynthesis and the food webs. The biomes obviously as this they support the food chain through the transfers of energy that we talked about in the previous slide. So we said in the previous slide that the sun is the main source of energy. Then the plants use that energy to make their food, to make the carbohydrates, and that enables the plants to grow. And as the plants grow, they then provide food for the herbivores. Then the herbivores provide food for the carnivores and so on. So in so doing, the biome is actually supporting that food web or food chain within that particular ecosystem, and there are transfers of energy within that particular system. Then we have soil formation. So weathering processes like chemical and biological weathering are actually taking place within the forests, and that is making soil. And that soil is then supporting the trees and helping them to grow. And like we said previously, the chemical and biological weathering releases nutrients into the soil as well, and those nutrients are then being used by the plants to help them to grow and to thrive. Then lastly, we have nutrient cycling here. And when the biotic part dies, so the living the plants and the animals, when they die, they fall obviously to the forest floor and they add nutrients back to the soil, and that will further support plant growth. So what is the third way then that the biome acts as a life support system? We have regulating services here, and this relates to two physical systems that keep the planet healthy. The first one is the carbon cycle. Now, this is really important to remember here that the forests are carbon sinks. So they take in carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. And in so doing, they keep the atmosphere and the temperature in balance. We know that if we have too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, that will cause, and especially if it's human created, or the source is human beings, so through industry, through transport, and so on. If we have a lot of that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it leads to the enhanced greenhouse gas effect, which then leads to global warming. But then when we have trees, they will regulate the temperatures, because they are going to be taking that carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, and therefore reducing global warming. In fact, the tropical rainforest has actually been referred to as the lungs of the earth. Okay, then the next one here is the water cycle. So trees purify, and they are doing through the roots, and then out through transpiration. They purify and regulate the flow of water within the cycle. So no trees means that there will be flooding and desertification. So how will there be flooding if there are no trees? So what we are saying is that if you cut down the trees, or if you have no trees, it means that there will be no interception. And that will mean that the water will reach the ground very quickly. And if it reaches the ground quickly, there won't be sufficient time for that water then to infiltrate the soil. And because limited infiltration is taking place, then you have more surface runoff, and that surface runoff leads to flooding. So the trees obviously then are providing a regulating service for the water cycle, because they are keeping it in check and in balance, such that we do not have flooding taking place. What about desertification then? If we cut down the trees, what will happen is that the soil will be left exposed. Now we know that the trees, the roots of the trees normally hold the soil together. But if you cut down the trees, that is no longer happening. So the soil is first of all left exposed to the sun and to the wind and to rainfall, so water. So it's likely to get eroded as a result of that. And especially now that there are no roots in the soil, it means that the particles of the soil are very loose, and therefore can be carried away either by wind or water. Right, so that obviously, the trees are providing cover for the soil, and without them, then this desertification will take place, because the nutrients, as that erosion is taking place. So let's take as an example the water erosion, that erosion by water rather. So that erosion is going to cause the nutrients that are in the soil to be washed away. That process is called leaching. And when that happens, the soil becomes infertile, and that is likely to lead to desertification. Now, the other thing we also need to think about is that the exposed soil is also exposed to the sun. So because it's exposed to the sun, it's likely to dry out quite quickly. And if it's dry, it becomes quite hard, and therefore not very good for plant growth. And again, that leads to desertification. Okay, so moving on to the fourth service here. These here are cultural services. And these are benefits that people get from visiting or living in a healthy biome. So examples here include education, science, recreation, and tourism. And in this particular case, we could actually add ecotourism, as well as spiritual well-being. So yes, the biome is a very important life support system. It provides goods and services, provides supporting services, provides regulating services, and also provides cultural services. That brings us to the end of this video on how biomes are a life support system. I hope that you have found the information insightful and useful. I have also done a video covering the whole of topic 7 on people and the biosphere. It will pop up as one of the suggested videos at the end of this one, and can also be found in the people and the biosphere playlist. Videos on all the other subtopics within this topic are also in that playlist. Thanks once again for joining in this journey towards excellent exam results. All the best and see you again soon. Bye-bye.